Welcome and hello from Alex, with a story from r/PettyRevenge, where a security guard shuts down unsolicited cheerfulness with a hilarious dose of fake tears. Coming up next is a story from escapetheparadise. Don't tell me I should smile more. I, 27 female, work night security in a hospital. This particular night started off annoying. I made another post about what happened before this shift that made me so annoyed. And after getting to my post, I was chatting with my coworker, venting a little. I'll admit I can have resting bitch face at times, especially when I don't have the energy to mask at that time. As we were standing there watching everyone, this guy leaving tells me something like smile more. It could be worse, with a way more chipper attitude than I could handle at that moment. Now I can make myself cry, but not at the drop of a dime. But I can easily make my eyes visibly well up with tears. So I made my eyes well up, made it look like I was going to cry, and responded my baby boy was just diagnosed with leukemia, and turned away, covering my face. I couldn't see his reaction, but heard him awkwardly mumble a sorry before leaving. As soon as the guy was out of sight, my coworker and I started laughing. I didn't have any kids. Don't tell people they should smile. It's annoying as hell, and personally I think it's rude. Mind your own business. That's hilarious. Faking tears over a non-existent sick child might be a bit much, but let's be honest. That guy totally deserved it. Telling someone to smile more is about as helpful as reminding a fish to breathe water. It ignores the situation entirely. You're working security at night. You're probably tired, and frankly, it's none of his business what your facial expression is. Plus, who knows what's going on in someone's life? Maybe you are having a bad day. Maybe you're just not a morning person. The point is, a stranger shouldn't be commenting on someone's appearance like that. Good on you for shutting him down, even if it took a little creative license with the truth. Hopefully, he learned to keep his unsolicited advice to himself in the future. Coming up next is a story from Estarnoltwo017 Heisman. Creating school schedule headaches for a cheating ex. Back in college, my freshman year girlfriend cheated on me. At first, I didn't think much of revenge and resigned myself to be quietly pissed about the situation. Then I discovered her Edu account was still logged into my laptop, and it also happened to be right before our registration for next semester's classes. I waited for her to register for classes and for a few days to pass and classes to fill up. I then deleted her class schedule and the email confirming the drops. I checked daily to see if she had noticed. And after nearly a week, I saw a brand new schedule with 4 Friday classes and 2 classes at 7:30 a.m. during the week. The breakup was long enough past that I can't imagine she thought it could be me. And for 4 months she was moderately inconvenienced, a petty win that I still love. That's cold, but in a strangely satisfying way. Stealing her class registration info and leaving her with a Friday afternoon nightmare schedule. Devious, for sure, but kind of genius, especially since it sounds like the ex deserved a little payback. 4 Friday classes sounds brutal, and those 7:30 a.m. classes, pure torture. In my opinion, Opie earned that petty win. Cheating's a rotten thing to do, and sometimes a little taste of inconvenience is the perfect reminder of the bad choice someone made. Plus, it doesn't sound like Opie caused any lasting damage, just a semester of some seriously rough mornings. A bit of karma served ice cold. Coming up next is a story from Peacelily2014, and if you like the video so far, don't forget to like the video. It only takes a second and helps me out a lot. My dog, the genius. I teach all the dogs I train to pee and poo on command. I always say that it's so that you can tell your dog to poo quickly if it's raining, or if you need to take them inside somewhere and don't want them to have an accident. Today I was walking Mal and he was sniffing at some grass in front of a block of flats. Let me stress, everyone uses this grass for their dogs, and I, for one, always clean up after my dog. So Mal is sniffing and minding his own business when some guy in one of the flats starts pounding on his window and yelling at me to get fuck off his grass. Sir, you live in a flat. This is not your grass. If he had politely asked me not to let my dog on the grass, I would have apologized and never used the grass again. But he was a jerk, so I did the only thing I could do. I looked the guy in the eye and said, Mal, poo. And he did. Mal didn't even hesitate. He immediately squatted and pooed. I bagged it up, of course, and resisted the urge to throw it at the guy's window. You guys, I think this might be my proudest dog training moment ever. Good boy, Mal. Edited to add, a lot of people have asked how I trained Mal to poo on command, so here's what I did. It takes time, but take the dog out and say go poo over and over and over. You will look like a crazy person, but pay no mind. When they do poo, make a big deal of it and say good poo. Maybe give a few treats. Do the same for pee. In a few weeks they should have it. Mal and I will be moving back to Los Angeles from the UK in September, and I'll be taking my dog training business with me. If anyone in La is looking for training, just send me a DM and I'll let you know when I am back in town. This is hilarious. That dog trainer is a genius, turning the situation around on that rude guy with a perfectly timed Mal. Who, absolutely brilliant. Mal sounds incredibly well trained, and good on the trainer for emphasizing positive reinforcement during training. Of course, it would have been great if the window yeller had just been polite from the start. But hey, sometimes you gotta fight fire with ... Well, in this case, expertly timed dog poo. Definitely a story that will bring a smile for a long time. Mal, you are officially the coolest dog ever. Coming up next is a story from Enterpaz. Bitchy sister-in-law tries to break us up, reveals her miserable nature instead. My partner's sister has never been nice to me despite me actively trying to get to know her, be kind and build a positive relationship. She has never welcomed me into his life, only been mean and rude towards me for years, and harshly rejected any attempts of friendship or working things out. So I gave up, quietly cut her out of my life and remained civil. She avoids me anyway, which works out great. They share a friend group. Their friends think she's so nice. She repeatedly told me she has no issue with me. Their friends told me several times she has no issue with me. My partner spoke to her about it, but told me she never said a bad word about me, other than that we'd never be close because we're two different people. She bullies my partner too and often belittles him, since they come from an abusive home life where that was their everyday. He didn't recognize how badly she was treating him and would get defensive when I brought it up that I didn't like how she treated either of us. People outside the situation told me that it's really her issue and has nothing to do with me. Unfortunately, as much as I wanted to protect my partner, I knew his sister was his closest relationship as they were each other's anchors in their abusive family life. I never wanted to separate or come between them, but had to protect my own safety. He had to get there on his own. For the record, my partner has always been very good to me, needed leeway to learn how to do better, needed to learn what to look for, given me lots of safety, protects me, and I love him deeply. My revenge with his sister is kill her with kindness and make myself untouchable. I give her no excuses to pick a fight with me. I build up positive relationships with all their friends' kids, and their friends' pets. If she complains about me, she's getting rebuffed and looks bad. I set boundaries on how I want to be treated and refuse to be her whipping post. She complained that she has to walk on eggshells with me as a result. Most importantly, I build up such a healthy relationship with my partner over the last 5 years. He's no longer taking her abuses, which was the last straw. Eventually, her own romantic relationship of 10 years completely blew up last year, ending horribly. She recently revealed she doesn't like me. I knew it the entire time. It felt so vindicating after years of being gaslit and my gut feeling being right. She recently told my partner she has problems with me but refuses to ever say what they are or work them out with me. She more recently told my partner she's done trying to help him and doesn't want to be around him anymore. She tried to break us up, which failed. She is now trying to turn their friends against him. I can tell she envies my partner, used her long-term romantic relationship as the one thing she felt she had over him, and deep down doesn't want him to be happy. I know she hates herself, is deeply insecure and in a lot of pain, but refuses to self-reflect and look inward and makes excuses to justify a lot of awful behavior. I did a lot to overcome the pain she put me through. I feel bad for her and wish her healing, but for now, I am personally happy to have her out of my life. A mantra I live by is be so positive that negative people don't want to be around you, and I love when the trash takes itself out. Kindness, happiness, and sincerity can be very effective weapons. Yeah, I still pettily enjoy watching miserable people implode on themselves and fail hard at hurting others. Don't treat me or my loved ones badly. Too late, didn't read. My partner's sister is a miserable person who bullies him and never treated me well. Felt like I was going crazy as everyone told me she never had a problem with me. I never gave her an excuse. She can't talk shit about me to anyone without looking bad. Over time, she revealed her true nature, admitted she never liked me, but refuses to work things out, and she's torpedoing her own relationships. My partner is now refusing to take her abuse. Wow, that sister-in-law sounds like a real piece of work. Good on you for sticking to your guns and refusing to be her punching bag. Building those positive relationships with everyone around her sounds like pure genius. Turning the tables and making her the one who seems difficult? Brilliant. It stinks that you had to deal with her negativity for so long. But like you said, sometimes the trash really does take itself out. And that feeling of vindication after being gaslit for years, absolutely priceless. Here's the thing, it's clear you care about your partner, and you didn't try to come between him and his sister. You protected yourself while giving him the space to figure things out on his own. And it sounds like he finally has. It's sad that the sister-in-law seems so unhappy, but you can't control other people's actions, only your own. You focused on building a positive life for yourself and your partner, and that's what truly matters. Living well truly is the best revenge. Coming up next is a story from Verknisterer. An unpleasant surprise for my brother after he ruined my plans for a SingStar party. The story happened several years ago. My brother was 14 at the time and I was 18. There was a weekend coming up where our parents weren't there on a set, so I wanted to do an extensive SingStar session with some friends. It was just much more pleasant without parents at home, and we also wanted to enjoy a few beers. The SingStar game belonged to me, but the PlayStation belonged to my brother, who got it for Christmas. I had a gaming PC and was not a console gamer. My brother knew exactly that I had planned this and initially said that I could use his PlayStation for the day. But 2 days before, he suddenly said that he needed it himself and wouldn't borrow it. Of course I was annoyed, but he didn't care. Instead, he became more and more insolent. I also spoke to my parents, but they said that it wasn't nice of him because he had previously agreed. But at the end of the day, it's his PlayStation and I have to accept that. Well, I thought, I'll just look for another date and found the perfect opportunity. A few weeks later, we were invited to the silver wedding anniversary of my parents' friends. My brother had talked his way out of it again because he always found this couple quite boring and always begged to stay at home when we visited them, which sometimes worked. He also had a great aversion to formal clothing, which was of course essential for this event. So I thought if I could convince my parents to take my brother to the party instead of me, that would be awesome. Not only would I have the house to myself, it would also be a good revenge on my brother. He still had a suit from the wedding of our aunt 1.5 years ago, and I knew he would hate it so bad if my parents forced him into it and drag him along to this silver wedding. I asked my parents about it and suggested that they take him to the wedding instead of me so that I could have the house to myself as compensation for the last time and be able to have a singing star party with friends. And to my surprise, my parents actually liked the idea. My brother had made several missteps lately and had upset our parents, and they thought it was a good opportunity to bring him back down to earth. In the morning of the day of the silver wedding, my brother found out that he had to go there instead of me. Of course, he rebelled and fought back desperately, but my parents had the right leverage to quickly break his resistance. It was hilarious how his angry protests quickly turned into self-pitying begging as he tried in vain to convince my parents to at least spare him the bow tie. He looked so grumpy when they left. I, on the other hand, had a really cool day afterwards with some friends, several beers and many hours of SingStar, and the thought of my cheeky brother being trapped in his suit, shirt and bow tie at this silver wedding for hours always brought a smile to my face. He was a bit mad at me for the next few weeks, but that went away and his behavior improved a bit after that too. Wow, that SingStar party must have been epic. Seriously, good on Opie for outsmarting their brother. It sounds like he had it coming after ruining those initial plans, turning the tables and getting him stuck at a stuffy wedding in a suit. Genius, maybe a little devious, sure, but undeniably satisfying. Plus, it seems like it ended up being a win-win. Opie got their party and their brother maybe learned a valuable lesson about being considerate. Sometimes a little payback can go a long way, especially when it's delivered with such cunning. That wraps up r/PettyRevenge. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to visit my Spotify channel, link is in the description, so you can listen to the best Reddit story while being outside, and remember to hit that subscribe button.